Welcome to Uncluttered and Unfiltered, the podcast urging you to let it go and don't look back. With nationally acclaimed professional organizer Christine Stone and self-proclaimed hot damn mess radio and TV personality Eden Kendall.
Welcome everyone to Uncluttered and Unfiltered with Eden and Christine. And Chris and I have had quite a week. So we are getting ready to MC a fashion show together for Goodwill. So we got together and we went over and shot some video for that this week. So we don't really see each other that often unless we're recording our podcast, but this is like a bonus. So we had a chance to actually be face to face again.
And
so
always
nice.
So fun.
So fun. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. I think we should talk a little bit about Goodwill and the fashion show and why, where I'm seeing it. And I have a couple of other stories I've been saving up to share with you. But the topic that we're going to get to, and of course, we always have an organizational tip at the end now, but the topic we're going to talk about is this. It seems almost like I don't want to say it's a fad because that almost diminishes it.
Right.
But this movement, or maybe it's just more people are talking about this separation that's becoming common between parents and their kids, where there's no contact between them. More and more, used to be the word estranged was used. Now they use the phrase no contact. And it's like the cool way to be now. And in some cases, we both have recognized that that's a really important and healthy thing to establish. And in other cases, it's like, wait a minute, can't we work this out? So we're going to talk about that. Yeah. We're not going to offer really any solutions, but we want to chat about it. But you know what I was thinking about that you and I were texting back and forth, but we never talked about on the podcast yet? This trend of OnlyFans for senior citizens. This new thing where senior citizens are setting up these paid, and if you don't know what an OnlyFans page is, pause this right now and maybe do some research, go to Urban Dictionary or something like that. But it is wild to me that people are doing this.
Now, here's the thing. Back in a few years ago, I would have been like, why would anyone want to do this? But if you're a senior and you have that much gusto to show people your feet or I don't know, because no one wants to see my bunions. I mean, I'm just saying, I say if you want to do it and get paid for it, I mean, a lot of people are working from home and making good money on the side or as their number one income. I don't know.
I mean, and it goes well beyond feet for those who don't know. I mean, it could be any part of your body. You could be doing things, saying things, whatever. OnlyFans is, for the not even PG-13 and up, that kind of thing. But here's the thing. This used to be a running joke that I had with friends where I used to call it OnlyFans Silver. And I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll open an OnlyFans Silver. And I just didn't know that there were actually people out there doing it and people paying. I mean, good for you if you're a dude who has such a thing for the older lady that, maybe you're just like, I shouldn't be looking at young women because I'm too old for that. They could be my daughter. I better let me find a nice senior lady and have her get sexy for me. I don't know. The whole thing is wild to me.
I mean, even people like Denise Richards is on OnlyFans and she makes a lot of money. Now, she is definitely way younger than me, but I mean, sometimes, I mean, if you're not, in my opinion, if you're not getting naked, if you have to get naked, I think nobody wants to see that, but anyway.
Somebody does.
Well, I think that's silly only because I don't know. That part I don't get. But if it's a fetish and they want to look at my pinky fingers and I'm making like $1,000 per pinky finger, I'm in. I mean,
all in.
Why not?
Why not? Hey, listen, fixed incomes are no joke.
Right.
And in this economy.
Exactly.
In this economy. So that was on my list of things I definitely wanted to talk about. I also had another story I wanted to share with you about when I was riding the car recently with my husband. And I think this is because he is one of the very few men that listen to our podcast. And even though he may not have the terminology down exactly, I got to give him credit. We're riding down the road and there's this lady that's kind of driving slowly in front of us. And he said, not only is she going so slow, but I think she has the menopause. And first of all, I love that he said the menopause. It's like the
Right.
bingo. I
Right.
go to the Walmart. I go to the bingo. And I was like, first I was a little offended. I'm like, what makes you think just because she's a slow driver, she's having the menopause? And he said, because I can see her hair blowing through the back window. She must have her AC cranking. So
Oh
I was
my
like, good for
gosh.
you for recognizing this woman might be having a hot
Go
flash.
Steve.
Go, Steve.
Yes.
That was a good
That is
observation.
hilarious. I mean, you know what? That is a man who's paying attention, and I love that.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
So I was really proud of him for that. And then the last story, and I wrote this one down too that I had not yet shared with you, is my pedicure story. And
Oh,
my pedicure story, I went to get a pedicure, and it was taking a long time. There were just, I don't know, they had me waiting for a little while, and then this lady was just really into it, and she was giving me like the full pedicure treatment, and I got a cramp. I got a cramp. I had to get up and go walk around, go outside, walking around and, barefoot
oh my
because and
gosh. That's
I
old
mean,
age for you there.
and everyone in that place was packed and everyone's looking at me. I'm like, I'm sorry. I clearly can't sit this long with my feet out
I
straight.
hear ya. I'm telling you, sitting for a long period of time for me is, I mean, I have to get up like you, walk around, stretch my arms back, do some of these. Like I have to, I
I
can't
was
sit there.
just I was mortified. I was so, and Steve was with me. He was getting a pedicure too. And he was just looking at me like, "Oh gosh, this girl."
Uh,
He's like,
there's,
"You need to hydrate." I'm like,
right,
"I know. I need
right.
pickle juice
Yeah.
immediately."
Oh my gosh. That's so
So
funny.
anyhow, that was my that was my story. But getting into this, you had an Uber ride recently,
Yes.
and the Uber driver was sharing her story with you about being
No
in no
contact
contact
with
with her
just one
daughter.
child, though, with her daughter, and, it was funny because you and I had already talked about doing this, bit in the podcast, and so I just listened to her, and she's like, "I'm having major surgery. They don't know if I'm gonna make it through. You're, like, one of my last Uber, rides because I have to, like, whatever." And she goes, "And my older daughter won't talk to her brothers or me and won't say why." Now, see, that's the problem I have though. I think if you're going to have no contact, just say why. I mean,
Mhm.
just ghosting somebody to me, you're not saying why. And I think if you say why, it gives the other person not to defend themselves because I think that's the wrong approach to defend yourself, but to listen to it and respond back to what they said. I just feel like just ghosting people, whether it's a friend, a family member, without any knowledge. Anyway, so,
Yeah.
so she was saying this and she was saying in her mind, now there's two sides to every story, and I
Every
know that.
story.
I know that. But she was saying how when her daughter had twins, she took care of them. She bought her a house. She babysat so she could go to work. She's very close with those two grandchildren who are now like, 14, 13, like older now. And she said, and of course I had to know. I said, "Well, what does her brother say?" And she said, "She won't talk to them either." And I'm like, "And they don't know why either?" I was fascinated by this.
Yeah, I
And she
bet.
goes, "No, because she won't answer any of our phone calls. She won't talk to any of us. And I'm having this surgery." I could tell in her heart she was feeling like maybe this will have her come around. And that it's not is totally breaking her heart. So I'm sitting in the back seat, tears are welling up in my eyes, and I'm trying to make her feel good about it. But really, there's no way to feel good about that. But it just brought me back because we had already talked about talking about this, that a lot of people on social media, especially, well, TikTok, let's just clear that up, are doing it. Well, lately, though, I have not seen it as much. So I'm not saying it's a fad, but I'm saying I think sometimes social media can take something that's serious for some people and make it a fad. Do you know what I
I
mean?
100% support what you just said because there definitely are situations now. It could be. Now your gut is telling you that wasn't this situation, but it could even be that she is a very narcissistic person. We don't know her.
Right.
And that the no contact and that she's in denial or trying to gaslight or all of these words that get thrown around. And she could really be the problem and she just isn't going to admit it. That could be the case. Who knows? And there certainly are scenarios where therapists would say you need to create no contact,
Right.
you need to have boundaries.
Absolutely.
However, one of the things you have said from the get-go as a grandmother is if you want to be in the life of your kids and your grandkids,
Yep.
you have to swallow some humble pie. You have to
Yep.
not give your opinion on everything you might otherwise want to give your opinion about. And so because this is out there, I mean, because TikTok has done this, because Instagram Reels has done this, where you have people saying, your parents are narcissists, you should cut them off, because you have that, you have to be extra cautious about these things because kids will cut you off. Uncluttered and Unfiltered is supported by Hearts for Minds. Mental health doesn't have to be a silent struggle. Hearts for Minds is changing the conversation, breaking stigma, and building bridges to better mental health care. Through QPR training and awareness programs, Hearts for Minds is equipping communities with the tools to recognize warning signs and connect people to life-saving support. Whether you're facing a crisis or just need someone who understands, Hearts for Minds is your helping hand. Hearts for F-O-U-R, minds.com. That's heartsforminds.com, and join the movement. Together, we can save lives.
Well, and also, I think cutting someone off for a good reason, any kind of abuse, that you may not have dealt with, but now you are as an adult, that's totally a legit thing. But to do it because you're grouping yourself together on an algorithm on TikTok, to me, that's a regret you'll have later. Because I think that's why this is slowed down a little bit or whatever, because once you do have children of your own, I think you realize, number one, how much you need the help of your parents. I mean, not financially, I mean, just emotionally, you need the help of your parents. And number two, how is it worth cutting someone totally out of your life that is trying to make amends and say, no, I wasn't a good parent, but I want to be a good grandparent and I want to apologize for anything and everything I did, but I did the best I could do at the time. And I think you only realize that when you become a parent. Everybody makes mistakes. Every parent's going to make mistakes. They did the best they felt they could do at the time. So it kills parents who are older, let's say over 55, over 60, who aren't on TikTok or don't know a TikTok algorithm or trend, and they're just being cut out totally. And I see a lot of that as well on social media, of the other side of it, where grandparents and parents are saying, I really, honest to God, they just cut me out, didn't give me an explanation, didn't say a word, and I am absolutely heartbroken. So I just think that some of these TikTok things that go on, they destroy relationships and they destroy people having real conversation on a telephone, instead of through social media or through texting. I mean, if you really are going to cut your mother or father out of your life without even telling them, I don't know. I think that says something about the
Yeah.
relationship.
I think also that it is a red flag. And when I say red flag, I mean it in the almost maybe a yellow flag, actually, when you meet someone who says that they have estranged close family members. It's a yellow flag, meaning proceed with caution. Find out why. Why is that? Is it because that they are someone who's very smartly created good boundaries from someone who's a narcissist or an alcoholic or somebody who's just a vampire of all of their goodness? Because there are definitely reasons to do it,
Right.
but you just kind of have to approach with caution. And I would say to anybody that if you're going to this extreme measure, I hope it came with a little bit of, I don't know, maybe asking an
Counseling.
expert,
Yeah, like
counseling, some
talking.
talking it through, not just a friend who said, well, according to the internet, you should cut them off.
Right, right. I mean, really going into some deep
Hmm.
therapy and maybe even asking that person if they would go into therapy with you. That's another thing. If you're not willing to make any changes as the older adult, don't expect anything in return.
Hmm.
Because they're grown adults now. And I think a lot of the issues are back when we were young. I mean, unless I knocked off a 7-Eleven and ended up in jail, my parents didn't, hover over me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Nowadays, the helicoptering from even the late 90s, you know what I mean? It's so bad that you think you can be in every part of their life. And when they say, no, I'm an adult now, I don't need you doing this or saying that or criticizing my hair or whatever it is, um, you have to listen to that and hear that, or you will be cut out because
Right.
they want to be their own adult, live their own life, have their own feelings, marry the person they want to marry, do the things they want to do. And you might not like it, you might not want it, or you wouldn't do it for yourself. But if you want to be cut off, keep it up, because that's what I think is happening a lot is you're not giving them what they are wanting. And that means, and I also feel this way, that means don't financially support somebody that I always told my kids, if you don't want my opinion, then you don't get financial support. If you want financial support, you get my opinion, because
Hmm.
that's just the way it is. Until you're on your own 2 feet, you get an opinion. Once you're on your
Hmm.
own 2 feet and you have your own house, your own life, your own, I mean, it's not mine to judge or say anything.
And that truly is the crux of this. We are a group of women. And if you have never been on our Uncluttered and Unfiltered Ladies Only page, it's a great place for you to be able to share things and commiserate. If you want to say, ugh, my daughter married the biggest asshole. And I just, if you want to say it there. Let's
Yeah,
say it to each other. Please don't say it to her,
right.
because you're just going to cheat yourself. If she's in danger, take
Well, that's
action.
different. I
Take
mean,
action.
that's
We're not
totally
talking about
different.
that. Please don't
Yeah,
consider anything we say, you know, in that regard. But if you want to just vent to your girlfriends, vent
right,
to your spouse maybe, but don't share it. Keep it to yourself. It's
right.
hard to do,
It's
but you get to a
so
point.
hard to do.
But
It
if you
is
want to be
so
included,
hard. Yes,
play
you
the
do
game.
it. Yes. Everything, unless you are asked, don't volunteer it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And even then, think twice.
Yeah, and think twice how you're going to give the response. Because
Exactly.
sometimes they just want to vent. They don't really want the response, but they think they do. But anyway, I just hope from this, I feel for any older person who's being totally cut off by their kids, because if they have children, then that means you're cut off from your grandchildren. I just
Mm.
think
It's
that's
heartbreaking.
heartbreaking. But I also think things can be repaired and people change. I used to not think people change, by the way, but as I've gotten older, I've seen people change, and they can change if they put their ego aside. They can
Mhm.
change. And it's hard to do, by the way. It's
It's hard.
hard.
It's very hard to do.
Yeah.
And that actually brings us to our organizational tip of the day, because I changed a behavior based on something you said a
Hmm.
long time ago on the podcast
Ah.
about cleaning out your refrigerator, your freezer, that kind of thing. You said the most simple thing that I had never thought of. It's so simple, I can't even believe
Hmm.
it, but it's changed our household in the way we do things. So, what is our tip for the day?
Well, I myself, every Sunday, because my garbage day is on Monday, I do a total cleanup of my refrigerator. I remove everything out. I sometimes, if it's dirty, I'll wipe down the surface. I only put back what I is not expired, what I plan on using, and I let go of the rest and make my grocery list for, because I always go grocery shopping during the week because it's too crowded on the weekends, and go grocery shopping and replace what I need. Especially with the holidays coming up, always clean out your refrigerator the day before garbage day. That way, number one, it's not smelling everything up, even if your garbage is outside still. And it gives you a clean slate for restocking the refrigerator.
And I love that you keep a pen and paper
Oh, yeah.
handy
Yep.
because you're cleaning out and you're like, okay, wait a minute, this salad dressing, it's old, so it needs replacing.
Yes. Yes.
So sometimes I'll see something that's close to expiring and I'll just still hang on to it thinking, okay, you know what? I'm going to wait until I have the new one. But you got to
Right.
just do a quick purge, and that's
Yep.
really smart.
And I also keep a list on my phone because when I'm in the grocery store, if I don't look at my list, whether it's handwritten or on my phone, I will definitely leave the grocery store without it. I don't have
100%.
that memory tool of remembering what I need. So whether it is ketchup or bread or lemons, if it isn't written down and I'm able to see it while I'm strolling down those aisles, it's not coming home.
Okay. That's a great tip. All right, so everybody, thank you so much for being a part of this. Join us on our Uncluttered and Unfiltered Ladies Only page. That is the private group that you have to be allowed entrance into on Facebook, but we also have all the other social media accounts too. And many of our episodes, I don't think this one will be, but many of our episodes are also available with video on YouTube. Everything's in our show notes. And remember, if you have an opinion about your children or your grandchildren or their house or their jobs or who they're dating or anything like that, tell a friend. And beyond that, you've got to let it go.
And don't look back.